Good morning. So I just had a walk, 2 mile walk this morning. My dog's getting old. I usually walk with my dog every day, but my dog's getting old, so he can't walk as far as he used to be able to walk. We used to walk for miles, but he's 12 now, and mentally he has the energy to do it. Physically, he cannot. And, I feel his pain because I'm the same exact way. But I realized that there is a park not far from my house that you can walk around, and it's a little bit more than half a mile if you do one circuit. So I decided that I was going to go there this morning. I used to go there all the time. I don't know why I stopped going. So I went there this morning, and I walked around there a few times. And then I figured I'd come home and I'd take him out, because as soon as he sees me put my sneakers on in the morning, he gets really excited because he knows that we're going to go take a walk. So I did that first thing. He was very mad at me. But then I came home and I figured I would take him for a walk. And I brought him for a walk yesterday, and he was limping after that because he has arthritis in his back legs. Now one back leg now. So as soon as I brought him out this morning, he was still limping. So maybe we got about a quarter of a mile out of it. And, he never wants to come home. He wants to keep walking. But, if I try to watch to see what's going on and make sure that we're not overdoing it with him. Hopefully, when the weather gets warmer, we won't be having this issue. It won't be as bad, because I have arthritis too, and the winter cold weather kills me. But usually when come spring, summer, it stops flaring up. So I'm hoping that will happen with him. The vet did give me medication for it. It wasn't helping. So that's my morning so far. So today we're going to be making two things. We're going to make no-knead bread, and there's two ways to do it. One, you can make the dough and let it sit for 24 hours and let it rise. Two, you can make the dough and add like honey or sugar to it for the yeast. And let it sit for 2 hours. So me, being me, does not have the patience to wait 24 hours for bread. So we're doing the 2-hour version. And then I think we're going to make vanilla cinnamon cupcakes too. So when I start doing those, we shall continue this video. Okay, we're going to start on this no-knead bread. We're doing the 2-hour version. If you've never made bread before, this is like the perfect recipe to start with, to get yourself into it, and you'll actually enjoy it, and it's absolutely delicious. If you're looking to cut calories, then I would suggest you don't do this version. You leave out the sugar, and then you do the 24-hour version. But here we're doing the 2-hour. So we're going to start. It's super simple. So we're going to start with 3 1/4 cups of flour. Get my thing. Sorry about that. So we're going to have 3 1/4 cups of flour. 1, 2, 3. Close this up. Oh, I forgot the 1/4 cup. And 1/4 cup of flour. Then you need 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm just using pink salt. And you need a teaspoon of either sugar or honey. And I use honey. But I'm going to spray my teaspoon with some oil so that the honey just falls right out. There we go. See? Plop. Then you need either 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast or 1 package. So I have my yeast jar here. So 1, 2, and 1/4. And you need 1 1/3 cups of warm water. Not cold, not hot. If you make it too hot or too cold, it'll kill the yeast. It just won't rise properly. So make sure it's warm, like lukewarm. There's 1. There is a 3rd. And you just take this, your little spatula, you just mix it around, make sure everything is incorporated. It's going to be a very wet dough, but you don't have to worry about that because once it's finished rising, you're going to add some more flour to it when you get ready to cook it. So that's it. It's going to look like this. You're going to put what I usually do. You could either put it on the counter, you know, if your house is warm, cover it with saran wrap or just throw a towel on top of it. Or like what I do is I put my oven light on, put a dish towel over it, and I just let it sit in the oven for 2 hours and let it rise. So we'll be back when that happens. Okay, dough is risen. You can take a piece of parchment. While you're doing this, you're going to preheat your oven to 450. And you're going to put a Dutch oven in the stove while the oven's preheating. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you can use anything that's oven safe up to 500 degrees. So you take a piece of parchment paper. And take more flour and put this on the parchment. Put some flour on the parchment paper. And then you're just going to take your dough and take it out. Okay. Put this down here so you can see a little better. So what you're going to do is we're going to try to get this dough off my hand. What I like to do sometimes is just take vegetable oil and you can spray your hand. And now you're just going to move it around the flour, like so it's not so sticky. And you're just going to try to, you just kind of fold it up upon itself on each end. I have to add more flour to that part. So you just fold it upon itself. You just roll it around. It's not really kneading. Just like that. And then what you want to do is you want to get like a nice round bottom like that. And then you're going to put it on the parchment paper. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to take some of this flour off. Because honestly, we don't need this much flour. Move it into the middle of the parchment paper, just like this. So while your oven's preheating, you're just going to let this sit here until it's ready to go into the Dutch oven. Okay, so my oven's preheated to 450. So I'm going to take out the pot. Make sure you wear oven mitts because it's going to be really heavy. Take the top off. You're going to take your bread and the parchment paper and you just plop it in. Try not to make as much of a mess as I just made. And then you're just going to put the top back on. And then you're going to put it in the oven, back in the oven. Like so. And then you're going to cook it for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to set my timer for 25 right now. And then after that, you're going to take the top off the Dutch oven and you're going to cook it for like another 10 minutes. And then when I have it ready to come out of the oven, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so the bread's out of the oven. It's just sitting on top of my stove cooling off. So let it cool off for about an hour or so. And then we're probably just going to have this for dinner. So next recipe will be vanilla cinnamon cupcakes. Okay, now I'm going to start with vanilla cinnamon sugar swirls. Cupcakes. So we need, and I'm not one that uses different bowls for dry ingredients, wet ingredients. It all goes in at the same time. You need 2 cups of flour. An electric mixer, or you can do this by hand. I think I just may have 2 cups left, I think. Yep. You know what? I'm going to take this thing off just to make it easier on myself. And of course I'm making a complete and utter mix. We need 1 1/4 cup sugar. Just gonna pour it in my measuring cup. 1/4 teaspoon of baking, oh no, 1 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Where did I put my cinnamon? Here it is. And 3/4. Now we need 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. No, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Need 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Half a cup of butter. Which is a full stick. 3 eggs. Oh, somebody's going to get the surprise shell. 2 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla. Need a 1/2 cup of milk, and 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now if you think the sour cream part is odd, it's really not, because sour cream, you never taste it, but it makes it really moist. 1/2 cup of milk. And 1/2 cup of sour cream. And then we mix it up. You could do this by hand, you could do it by the electric mixer, either way. So what I'm going to do, because this is going to make a lot of noise, is I'm going to pause. Okay, so my oven's preheated to 350. I have my ice cream scoop here. I have my batter. And I'm just going to fill up each one just 1/4 of the way first. And then in this bowl I have 3 tablespoons of cinnamon and 1/3 a cup of sugar. So we're just going to take a pinch, just going to sprinkle. And then I'm going to fill it up again. And then you're just going to sprinkle again the cinnamon sugar mixture top. As you can see, I ran out of cupcake liners. So you do this for all of them. You bake it for about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so I just took the cupcakes out of the oven. So I'm letting them cool off. I'm going to take them out of the pan. in a few minutes. And I have just regular buttercream icing here to use when they're fully cold. So it's basically a cup of butter, or you can use half a stick of butter, half a cup of shortening. I just use butter. 4 cups of powdered sugar, teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of milk, and I just mix it up in my mixer. And I could have added in cinnamon, but I ran out of cinnamon. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture on top of the icing. So I'll show you what that looks like when that's done. Okay, so I have them all iced. I put the cinnamon sugar on top. They're not the prettiest looking thing, but they'll be delicious. I'm going to put them in the fridge now because the icing is melting because it's so warm in my kitchen. So I'm going to end this video here, and we'll see you on the next adventures of what the hell I feel like cooking. All right, bye.